How did you get involved with working for autism?
So, my undergrad is a theater degree,
Hmm.
and I moved to New York City to work in the theater, and I was enjoying that, but I didn't really like New York. And so I decided to move home to Minnesota,
Hmm.
and I was at a wedding for a friend, and I ran into this woman who I used to know when I was a kid, and I had one of those conversations with her where it was like, I knew her when I was a kid, and I just never knew what she did for a living. And so I said, Chris, like, what do you do for a living? And she said,
Hmm.
I work with people with autism. And I said, well, what's autism?
Hmm.
Uh, and she sort of explained it, and I said, well, that sounds really interesting. And she said, you think so? Because I have a job opening. I said, oh. She said, do you know kind of what you're going to do when you get back to Minnesota? And I was like, I have no idea. She's like, why don't you come in for an interview and just see what you think? And so I went into Edina High School
Yeah.
and had a pretty hilarious interview answers. But anyway, long story short, I got the job, and I ended up as a paraprofessional working one-on-one with high schoolers, mostly with Asperger's. Some had PDD-NOS, some had EBD, some lower functioning, some higher functioning.
Hmm.
And I was just kind of part of the special ed world in the high school for 7 years. What happened next was along the way, I got a master's degree in nonprofit management. What we were seeing was my high schoolers were graduating from high school, maybe going to college. Most likely, most often than not, they weren't doing well in college. They'd try to get jobs, and it wouldn't work out very well, and just they would kind of, as we call it, like slip into their parents' basements, never to emerge again. And
Hmm.
frankly, that's where most of them still are today, except for the couple I think that you've already talked to. They're kind of our success stories.
Yeah.
So we started with the help of the case manager that I worked with for many years and her husband, a sister organization called the Center for Supported Independence, which is a mouthful, and is now dissolved.
What? Sorry, what is it called? You kind of broke up there.
That organization was called the Center for Supported Independence.
Hmm.
And it was based on a model out of California, and I can go into more detail about that if you're interested. But long story short, we ended up teaming up with the folks at Autism Works,
Hmm.
who'd kind of gotten started a little bit earlier than us, but were at kind of a similar point of starting to serve people more directly.
Yeah.
And we just kind of teamed up together and merged the two shops together.
Hmm.
And thus was born Full Service Autism Works.
Wow.
Yeah, and we have grown rapidly in the
Yeah.
last year from two job seekers to currently serving 118 active job seekers.
Wow.
Actually, I think the number is higher today. And we have gone from, we do serve more than people than just autism. Our
Yeah.
mission is connecting adults with autism to their communities